They don't have a mic, so I hope you have enough lung power. So they will share their experience with you for 10 minutes each. And then we have a good 30 minutes to maybe break up into smaller groups of 4 or 5 people. And we could try to use that half an hour, 20 minutes, lost 10 minutes, that 20 minutes to kind of maybe practice a skill that you can identify individually in your groups. Practice a skill that you would like to practice with the support of a group. Because, rehearsing to conduct a humane education program is the best way to really get going. Once you rehearse it, you get the confidence, and there you go, before you know it, you'll be teaching others. So, let me establish one understanding that humane education is actually the core of the animal welfare movement. Because unless we can communicate the ideals and the dreams and the visions we have, unless we can inspire people to give up these insane cruelties, unless we can guide people through our words and our speaking on a better way to be, a better world for animals as well as people, unless we can communicate this, then where are we going to get started? How are we going to get started? And as an organization working for animal welfare, unless you can communicate to others what a brilliant job this is and what a wonderful thing this is and how important it is for them to support us, how will you get your fundraising going? How will you get your membership going? How will you get your support from the community? And you see, it doesn't matter what you do, whichever program you take up, unless you can communicate it in a way that thrills and excites and engages everybody to feel that this work they can never get involved with, that they can never support, and it's so practical, it's so lovely and engaging. How will we move forward? And so it all starts with humane education. And humane education is just getting out there, getting the confidence, and getting the right words and getting the right pictures to be able to communicate this beautiful message of animal welfare. So I'm going to start with requesting Claire to come up. Claire is an animal lover and social activist. She's the co-founder of a charity organization named Animal Aid Unlimited at Udaipur, India. And her entry was fueled by her love and compassion towards ownerless street animals. And Claire has learned to use the gift of her communicative skills in spreading this message. So Claire,
thank you so much, Amala. I know that for any of us who have ever listened to Amala speak, which we have today, she's just a guiding light for presentation and how to make animal welfare something very beautiful, which she does a beautiful job doing. So today I think most everyone here might be expecting that the talk is going to be just about going into schools and colleges. But I am actually going to be talking about something different. First, Animal Aid has been running for 10 years in Udaipur. We do street animal rescue. We've rescued about 37,000 animals in the last 10 years. Over the year, initially when we started, our focus was ABC. After a couple of years, we realized that it was actually the rescues, people calling us to report an injured animal, where our communication was starting. It wasn't through the Nasbandi, the ABC. That wasn't capturing the Indian audience. So we realized that rescue is actually a huge humane education opportunity. For many people who call us, many Udaipur local people, we found to talking to them, sometimes the very first time in their whole life that they've ever stopped to do something for an animal that they didn't have a financial benefit from. So now the question is, how can we make that first action, meaning them picking up the phone and calling, how can we make that a way of life for them, or one of many, many, many actions that they will continue to do? So what I'm going to do is quickly show you a video just to remind you all, in case you don't yourselves have a rescue program, but just what rescue looks like. We respond to about 20 rescues a day. Minimum, bare minimum, that means about 400 people who are directly witnessing a rescue. And it's probably a lot. I'm taking a very small number to say 400. So that 400 people a day to actually firsthand see a group of people going out and demonstrating love for animals is a huge number. I mean, I know that I couldn't go to a school every day and reach out to 400 kids and make that big of an impact. So I'm going to show you the clip and then talk about what we do to enhance around it. Look at the way that he is touching the animal. All of these things we're going to talk about later, but this is good work. This is just typical rescue.
On this video, Dawn from Cross of Hyderabad has been trying to show up for
so this, we always try to not use the net, but in this case we had to, because he was running away. Yeah, he found that. That's why we were and he's good at doing her. That's one of the lines. I'm just showing to remind how public every single, we're on the main road, everyone can see, it's a total public demonstration. Each time. Here the person himself is helping us catch by distracting the dog. He's helping catch. Then naturally, immediately, a big crowd of people come to see what's happening. Okay, I'm just going to stop it here now. Have you done that? All of us need to recognize that the only humane education officer that we have on our staff is not just our humane education officer. Every single person who we are employing or who is a spokesperson, a volunteer for your organization, they're teaching the public. Every time they pick up a dog, every time they pet an animal, clean a cage, do a surgery, pick up the phone, every single time they're teaching the community. Hopefully there is a community there who is watching what you're doing. So whether you like it or not, they are your teachers. People are looking at them to see, how do you pick up a dog correctly? How do you love animals? How do you change your lifestyle? So, as we rescue animals, the first person who comes in contact with the public is our dispatcher. So, we have found we need to recognize, just like a hotel industry, just like any business that relies on the public, no matter how many calls you just attended, how rude the person was who you just spoke to, but the person who calls you or who makes any contact with you, for that moment, they are your VIP. And so, constant training with your staff and with yourself to make sure that you're upbeat, that you have the time to notice that this could be a life-changing experience for this person. And I can't miss that opportunity because I answered the phone, hello. Making someone feel maybe like they're interrupting me. So then the ambulance goes out. Now, like we said, there's so much public opportunity here. So training our staff to how a lot of our drivers are oftentimes the only people who the locals are actually going to meet. With anyone who has a shelter, I think we know most people actually don't come to visit the shelter. Most people only see the driver or see your ambulance. So training your driver how to talk to people, how to thank them, how to welcome them, pull them forward. So we do leafleting. Every time we go out, we give PETA leaflets, dog rule leaflets, animal aid leaflets. We also fundraise. Now, I know that some people think that fundraising is a sensitive, maybe, oh, this is our free service, we aren't supposed to ask for money. We feel very differently to that. Fundraising, too, is a huge humane education opportunity. Every 10 rupees that someone gives to you out of love for an animal, that person cannot forget your organization, they won't forget the animals, and they're that much more likely to actually come to your shelter or be involved in your work. So our drivers do ask for money. It's not required, but we do ask for money. And we welcome them with a smile on our face. Now, this is constant training. I myself have to remind myself to smile. This is a nice person no matter how tired I am. We have to constantly remember that people want to go to where it feels good, where they feel appreciated. If they're feeling like it's a burden on your time, then it's not going to be an inviting. We need to make the animal rights movement a fun, inspiring place for people to want to join. So, with the drivers, and I'm just going to end in 1 minute. And if this sounds, you might not have a rescue center yourself, but this is the same thing that we apply everywhere. It's just break it down into small. So first, there's each and every physical action that the drivers and all the staff. So like, just repeating, but how do they pick up the animal? One of Animal Aid's biggest supporters, she's a doctor who, since this incident, she donates all free blood work to all of our staff for free and all of our animals. And she's given a lot of money in donating. The one, she never visited the shelter. She was looking out of her window one day and she saw one of our staff lifting a dog into the ambulance. And she said she had never seen anyone be so gentle with an animal before. That is humane education. It's that image that she saw was 1,000 words of animal rights, animal welfare, and it's just golden opportunity with your rescues. So if you can volunteer with an organization who is rescuing and offer to go with them to give out leaflets, that's a fantastic thing that anyone can get involved with. And if you yourself have a rescue, then go out with them and keep on training them to basically be humane education officers on the street level who are reaching out to a ton of people every day. Thank you.
We go on to Pravalika. Pravalika is the Humane Education Officer at Cross of Hyderabad. Last year, she and her team reached out to about 13,400 children. And we found that a lot of children, a lot of younger people have phobias about animals. They're terrified, petrified. They've been adopted dog program. We took a client-friendly, happy dog to school thinking the children would be thrilled. They were actually freaked out. And so we decided we will focus on two things in the humane education program. One is to improve people's understanding of animals so they know how to behave around animals, therefore overcome their fears and phobias. And the other also to promote the adoption of animals. So here's Pravalika for you. And she's focused on children, school children. Thank you so much. Quite inspiring. Erika was like tears rolled into my eyes when he showed the process of rescue. Everyday life we see that. And sorry, I'm glad. I'm very happy to learn something from you. So good afternoon to one and all. Myself Pravalika. I'm working as an education officer at Cross of Hyderabad since a year. I'm blessed to speak for animals and work for them. So Monday to Thursday I go to schools. And Saturdays and Sundays I work for animals. So on puppy behaviors, and it's where I learned so much, how, humane education. Claire said, it's not just speaking, everything for animals you give, it's humane education. Today I'm going to focus on the method of presenting and how do we approach schools, what worked, what didn't work, and network to reach large number of audience. And also having interaction with other NGOs also help us to reach large audience, and interaction with corporate companies also will make us easy access to go to various rural schools and mandal schools. So I'm starting with the method of presenting. So I know everybody knows this is the common way of presenting through the PowerPoint presentation. So my mentor told we focus much on animal behavior, and we give a lot of tips to behave around animals and how to protect and how to be around the street animals and all. Every time we plan for a good presentation, it may not work for various reasons, unexpected power cuts, and sometimes laptop may hang up. And always I carry flip chart. It's a nice, nice thing to add. And I go to under-resourced schools where there's no power socket to plug in my laptop and my projector. So we have to be in a position to speak for every children and in any position they are. So likewise, so last year, me and my colleague, we are able to reach around 1,340 students in 107 schools. How do we approach schools and how we reach this number? My colleague has, very good connections with various schools because he worked in a community for an organization where he used to coordinate with more than 300 schools. Likewise, we are able to reach, he used to coordinate with the schools and I used to give the talks. But this year, he's not with us, he left. So the situation is different. So I'm alone. I have to the presentation. That's where I felt it's a little bit difficult. Initially it's difficult for me to go to a school, wait for the right person, show my presentation, then after they say yes, they give me a day, and then I go on present. So it's taking one single day. I inquired with a few schools and came to know that all the private schools are under federation. It's private school federation according to the zonal wise. I went and met the president of the private school federation. I got an appointment. I showed my presentation to the committee. They felt it's a very valuable message for the children, and they shared all the contacts with the member schools, like around 300 schools. So that's where it's very easy for me to reach these schools. And the schools under private federation are economically backgrounded schools, where it's very easy to address them. They're not quite expressive. They feel shy and fear to express their views and ask questions, and it's very difficult for a speaker to interact with them. But speaking in local language and allowing them to share their experience with animals, and whether they have called any animal rescue, they found any injured animal on the street, or any experience with animals, allow them to share. Somewhere you feel interaction happens with these kind of students. And there's other sector of group, like other students, like the affluent background schools. That's where having network with the affluent background schools, where you can reach larger audience. The minimum strength would be 1500 to max 3000 students per school. And reaching these schools and addressing them is also beautiful time, because they are very expressive. You may not talk about everything with them because they are aware of many things that we spoke about, and they are the ones who do a lot of activities for the animals, like fundraising activities. They celebrate a lot of festivals, and they make a lot of cake baking activities, and they raise funds for organizations, and they are quite expressive. Recently I went to a talk in Oak Ridge International School in Hyderabad. I was surprised that 6th grade students, they have their own blog on animal rights. They have their latest technology used software, where everybody who has the ID among the school students who are in the animal rights group, they can pose the questions and somebody who knows about it can answer. Likewise, interaction happens in anytime, in any use. And whatever they know about animals, they are sharing in the blog. Somewhere I am going to get an opportunity to be in the part of that animal blog, so that if something I know, I can express it. So they're quite very, using high technology, and very expressive, and they do a lot for the community. So this is one way where you can reach larger audience. And they have very good auditoriums where at a time we can address around 500 to around 600 children at a time. And another network to reach larger audience. I hope many of you might have known about this organization called Teach for India. Teach for India is a project for Teach to Lead, where outstanding young professionals and graduates are placed in the under-resourced schools for better education in India. It started in the year 2009, where they are in 5 cities. You can see Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Chennai. They have 500 fellows. Fellows are nothing but the young professional graduates who are placed as teachers. And I got a wonderful opportunity. Last week, I met 2 fellows. I went to a slum to address students in one school. So I met 2 fellows. So I invited them to my session. They're quite impressed, and they connected me to the city director. So all the 5 cities have city directors. So they connected me to the city director, and he invited me to the city conference that's happening in November 25th in Hyderabad, where I'm going to meet 49 fellows. There are 49 fellows in Hyderabad where they are teaching 3,000 students. So they have a nice, very good idea where if I can train these 49 fellows, so that way these 49 fellows are going to address on animal welfare to these 3,000 students. So I hope, once I meet them, once everything is fine, I'll take to the management, and once it is approved, I'm so happy that, within a week we can address 3,000 students. So this is interaction with the organizations. How do we interact with the organization? I'm lucky that I met them, but there is wonderful opportunity where you can meet different organizations that works on education. That is corporate NGO interaction. I hope everybody knows corporate has CSR activity, corporate social responsibility. In Hyderabad, Microsoft and Deloitte invite us every year for NGO Interaction Day, on NGO Interaction Day, where various NGOs working on different sectors meet together, and somehow, we may get good contacts on education. So, I hope it's not easy to approach schools, but working smart and using every opportunity that comes to you, you can reach n number of students, and it was a very good experience for me to be in this part of humane education, and I hope you got valuable information to reach students and reach larger audience. Thank you so much. He's the Director Managing Trustee of Raksha. Raksha is a youth-based organization established by small individuals inspired to start a movement that will lasting change to work against police programmers. It's managed by a board of trustees headed by Glory is an ardent animal activist working for the last 8 years. The Animal Welfare Board of India is also appointed him as an honorary animal welfare.
Hello everybody. Since there is almost covered everything, so I'm going to give basic knowledge, how we start, how it's supposed to be actually started, what should be my target. So I'll just give you a basic idea about humane education and your target audience and how we approach it. Students, people for education in public places like malls, roads, everywhere.
Just go to slideshow and slide.
Yeah, slideshow. You can see one of on the top left is educational awareness program we are doing in mall. The right is we're doing it in schools. That's video streaming. Showing videos is a very attractive idea for students. And the fourth is educational awareness program in India. The last slide is educational awareness in a village where there was a recent snake bite. Education. Apart from schools, also we have regular stalls at different festivals where we do educate. And medium could be to use flexes, like she had said earlier. Like in certain schools, we do not even have electricity. So there we can use flexes, classes flexes or standees to educate students. Laptops could also be used there. And games is an important. Games quizzes could be a very important. Now we have a 6-point protocol which we follow in Raksha, and this could be followed by any organization who wants to start with an education program. First could be program introspection. I'll give you in detail protocol. Foundation, execution, leadership, field activities, and conclusion. Introspection is knowing yourself. Before starting anything, you need to know what area you expertise in. You can't just blindly go and take 10 topics and start doing awareness. You need to know yourself very carefully, because when you educate your students, they could ask you questions which you really sometimes test your skills. Okay, now target age. What kind of target you looking for? Like see, in case of flare, it has to be a very dynamic approach, because on rescues, you don't have a fixed target. It could be students, it could be young people, it could be old people, it could be a bunch of range. So you need to be a very effective communicator for all. Second would be a target activity. This basically are made according to schools, colleges and villages. It's like not spot education like we have to do in the schools. Target activity could be depending upon your performance skills, like what can you do. Everyone has done education awareness programs here. Everybody has done education awareness programs.
Yeah, I do with schools.
Schools. Okay. Just one? Two.
General,
Okay.
local.
Right. Now then it is the target involvement. How do you involve the target? That's the most important thing. It shouldn't be like just speaking and you come back and activities. It has to be involvement in a variety of activities which they do. So you have to think from their point of view, not from your point of view that you have to do them. What they will derive from it, what is your aim and what you should conclude with. Now, foundation. Connecting to the point person. As she said,
Yes.
yeah, we don't have a federation in Udaipur. So the only thing which is left is getting, calling up the principal or going and fixing the monument plot, then providing her with the idea about the event. That idea is not one time. It has to be a regular idea. It has to be a regular event, schedule of regular events. Because educational activity is one wherein it should go regularly in schools. It's not a one-day process. You do once, come back and then you forget. You shouldn't also forget. That charm that should continue to grow. So you should have a level of activities planned for a year for one school. If you don't want to take only 2 schools or 3 schools. So once you have connected to your point person and the target, which is already set in your mind by now. So the second step will be idea for the email, idea of the event via email, phone or a letter. It should be ready when you go to the principal. So that you can save time and she also thinks that you will cover the question. Once you get the final approval, your work starts. A very well-dressed PPT. I'm not a very good person making PPT, but a very well-dressed PPT is a must. As you know, there are no photos students would like. If a professional would be only bullets would do. But for students, you need to have attractive photos and good bullets. You need no more text. The text should be only in bullets. You have seen, you have a sentence, it's lost. Half the students will be like, one photo, one bullet, that's it. That is the easiest thing. Okay, when this presentation you have perfect blend of pictures, text, facts with significance to the student. Very important. Have the connectivity factor. The student should connect to your PPT. Should be like she is not connected. So there has to be a student factor here. Next, execution. When you execute, you need to be focused. First thing which comes has to be a basic introduction about the organization. To all the students, all villages, they should know what work to do by your village. Very important. It should be 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Idea about the event. You have to communicate before speaking what is the idea of the event. In a minute. What you intend to do. Third, connection. Like I said, have you all done education or awareness programs? Yes. Connection has to be there. It should be when I enjoy where we go, students are generally, just quiet. Do not speak. You can just listen to the teachers not very good. So what we do is, we say, we are the students are the teachers. Now you can ask us anything on the topic. That should be the first thing before you start. You can ask us anything on the topic. Whatever you like, you are our teachers, we are your students. That has to be the approach. Hope you all agree. If there is anything you can always specify me. Okay, connection now. Okay. What's happening around for that particular topic? How can they be the indicators for that? What can they do? And one important thing, like currently we are doing it in another organization, we collaborated in RISE. And what we have learned is like for the last 4 years we have been doing educational awareness, we have been doing in schools, we are making all schools as equals. We are making them sustainable. We train students, make leaders. And for that also we have a screening process. That is a mandate which we should all follow. Since we can't go, one person can't go in all the schools in Udaipur. So we need leaders can be used, like student leaders also. And students have a very good connectivity with students. Suppose if you go to school, if you bring 8 people to be leaders, you go to once and take up the book of activities year on year. Those book of activities can be planned and proposed by you to the principal, parent advance. We have such activities. We are currently doing 30 topics, 8 videos. So we have that. Whenever we send a mail, those 30 topics are sent along with the video, list of videos. Whatever school likes, they select and then they select. And in case they want to see the things earlier, they fix an appointment, a monitor goes, he shows what you want to do, and then they come. That way things happen, but you need to know, you need to be ready for it. Leadership opportunities. Once you make leaders, your workload will reduce. Suppose you are just doing one school a year, let's say 4 trips a month. So now, once you have leadership opportunities, you can invite them in all your events. Leaders would get trained. There are certain things like showing a movie or showing a announcement. Right now, 3 people go in one event. In that case, if a student is doing it, 1 person can do it. That way you save time. You are actually making a leader, a compassionate student. That is more important. Once that happens, other students also follow. Now, leadership benefits. We need to focus on this again, because why a student to become a leader? In a place where there is a lot of struggle, you need to make him realize there are some points, more. You will be recognizing connectivity with experts and improving knowledge. Okay. The activity with experts and improving knowledge base, like this is my experience. It's been over 10 years. The knowledge I have gained is very slow. If I would have been connected with experts when I started, I could have been in a very better place. So I certainly feel that the students are connected today and they have some field experience. Certainly, they will improve their knowledge base and they will be future leaders. Crowd change makers, improving confidence and communication skills. With Raksha, all the volunteers who joined, those who had poor communication skills, who were sitting in the room now, have moved out because they are working in corporates, some they are professionals. All have improved their communication skills in a period of one month to month. Okay, second leadership benefit, we all are moving from organizations. So we do have a lot of rescue works, we have awareness drives and all. So we require students, lots of students. So these students can also participate in your event. This could be, you can always have a schedule of activities which are doing. All these students can participate. The student also would feel, yeah, I have field activities also. Every student I can go to the you can always participate in their work. Students always like to go out during school time, maybe it's for half an hour, but they will love it. They love it. And that is the time they put in from the money. Field activities could be very simple, but this is what we are doing. A lot of other things also we can also let me know. Nature treks, bird watching programs, waterborne installation is a very easy task. Plantation, I think almost all people are doing this. Exchange program. Again, once you have leaders, you train them for a year, make them put up sustain and provide them all the materials we get and the experience. And then you can get students who go, suppose A and B are 2 schools, where you have leaders. B could go in A, A could go in B. So that way students are also getting exposure and they are also learning. And they could then circulate also for us. These are certain photos of activities which we do for students. And mainly all these field activities are mainly for students. And when we send a mail, we use the language, these programs are meant for kids, parents are complimented. So the kid feels very, he feels yes, because of me, I am taking my parents. So he feels very good. Sundays are a good activity day, we have lots of okay. Rallies, demonstrations are a part and parcel for us. So again, we use lots of students for rallies. This is an IMSA rally, particularly Save Our Feathers Friends schemes, favorite birds, classroom and manga, and water ball. Now, I would like to conclude. Whenever you are doing any awareness program, we make videos, we make PPT, make a proper number. It has to have a 15-minute Q&A session with the audience. Second would be an impact assessment form. Wherever we go, like last year, it's a tedious job because it requires a lot of compilation and data punching. But it is very important to know and assess yourself where you stand and what difference you can make. So there is an impact assessment form for all the 30 things, all are different. We make that what is the impact after watching the video or after watching the presentation. Don't you think that you should change your lifestyle to the required thing? Pledges are an important task. You can take pledges from students. Next, event info and implementation. Immediately before conclusion, we should have the next event info, and so that thing remains in the mind of the students and keeps rotating. How do students help? Now it depends from organization to organization how you want to do it. What is it school students? Because school students volunteer things are different. College is different. Selection. Student leaders, class heads, volunteers, it could be defined from organization to organization. How is your structure going to be? Anything you would like to ask or you could ask, if you want the PPT, you can take it from me after this session. That is my attention. Anything you would like to say? I have made some videos. I show videos. Yeah. Yeah, these are you can always download.
Can you tell us where to
Plastic cow is one video. Yeah, everyone is giving that CD. I have one. There is Samast Mahajan in Gujarat. They send me a CD. Samast Mahajan is an organization in Gujarat. They send me a CD on a kite flying festival. We show that over in kite flying festival. Secondly, we show video skin trained by Peter, and they have compassionate citizens.
That's the best for young children. Compassion.
Yeah, compassion. Because Peter is a bit the compassionate citizen nutrition.
It's a beautiful video which covers many aspects, including the plastic. Then, that you write to Peter, then Peter will take to you.
Peter will send you the bill. I think Peter will consult the Peter doesn't know what is the procedure, but they would be happy to send you that.
It's not all the details.
But they'll be happy to send you because they'll be happy. Like wherever I come to know about a video, I straight away send a mail that this is what the purpose is, I want to do it. And when I do a mail, I send a mail to them, this is what I've done with your video. So they always say that, they never send anything. For me, it has been the case only 3 months.
May I share something more?
Yeah, please.
Or is that very close conversation? Okay, then.
Okay,
Thank you very much. We now have Basanti Kumar speaking to us. Basanti is co-founder, managing trustees, trade relief and animal welfare straw. Stores in New Delhi, based AWO, recognized by the Animal Welfare Board of India, and works to promote the ways animals in general. Sorry, something misprinted here. The welfare of animals in general and strays in particular. Basanti has a master's degree in economics from Bangalore University and a management degree from IMI Delhi. And she's done some amazing work in the area of humane education. She's going to share how she did that with us with some other approaches.
you hear me? Yes. Yeah, but a little bit about straw. We are concentrating only on humane education. We are not into sectors where we are main focus is on humane education. It gives us a lot of time on this particular area of work. We are doing this. We are trying to do humane education in 3 different ways. One is, of course, we are going to schools, which most of the organizations are doing. We are also doing summer holidays when the schools are closed. We use that time by going to summer camps. There are a lot of organizations doing summer camps and things like that. So we go to those kind of places also, and we do the program for the kids. And then the second thing we do is, we felt that going school after school, one by one, for a large population like India, becomes a little difficult because it takes a much long time. So therefore, we decided to go to approach the same thing through textbooks. So we have started contributing to the CBSE textbooks. So there now CBSE itself is connected to like 10,000 schools that are related to CBSE in India and abroad. So when your lesson plan relating to empathy towards animals get into textbooks for which students get marks, then your message goes much far and wide. So we have been successful with CBSE. We have contributed some bit of lesson plans for them related to empathy towards animals. And then we have also succeeded with the Department of Education, Training and Research at Karnataka. Now our plan is that we try and do it with all the state boards so that the reach is much higher. And the third thing that we do is we also run an animal helpline. So the animal helpline is we act as a hub for connecting with the organization which is able to provide you an animal ambulance, and hundreds of people whose heart beat for animals actually. Like Claire was mentioning, the people there are many people call. These people just see an animal, they see an animal herd, they call us up. We've tried spreading our helpline number quite widely, so people do call us up. And then we connect up with the NGO which is having an ambulance, plus the person who is calling up. Idea is to help the animal at the fastest possible time. Even there are many people who call us up for advice on various on how to do it. So this also we do, again humane education is done on the phone. So this is what STAW does. But my talk today is about capturing the attention and engaging students during a humane education class. Because most of the time we are doing programs for students in classes 4 and 6, or maybe sometimes 3. But these children are the ones whose attention span is the shortest, and they are like they get distracted very fast. They are coming in a line. They come in a line. They come and like with a lot of noise. Then they come and it takes a while for them to sit down, and then like you have to. It gets quite tough to actually calm them down. So what we've been doing is we are we use what's known as early morning time, which is a 0 hour. Which is, I think in Delhi we have a 0 hour. I don't know. Probably you get. What is the time that you get in your class, or when do you get the slot to do your programs?
I spend the entire day in school, like morning 9 o'clock cleaning for
all the classes.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Every day. Yes. 6 and 10.
That's great, because in Delhi you don't get the time slot. So we request them for the 0 hour, which is about 40 minutes in the morning. The first thing, immediately after assembly they come and we start. So we just have 40 minutes, out of which the children are distracted and all those things. And then I've learned this thing from one of the teachers only. They think that when you kind of actually do a small meditation, 2 to 3 minutes. They just, as soon as children sit down, the students listen to their teachers better than they listen to you. Mainly because you're a new face and they're very excited and all these things. So the teachers calm them down, and then they tell them that, okay, now let's close your eyes and hold your hands. They sit up with this spine up. And then they just tell them, once you close your eyes, okay, now let's think of something nice. They just take them through, okay, let's see what you're going home, you're going to the beach, and then you've seen this and you've seen that. Just take them to a nice kind of pleasant experience. It's just for about 2 minutes, the children calm down, and at the end of it, they sing their school song. Yeah. They sing the song, all this happens within less than 5 minutes, and the children are calmed down. And then we start our program, which is like very, very effective. This is a picture of the children in one of our summer programs. This was actually in Chennai Mission School, so they have a nice huge hall, and where they were doing this program, and they, of course, they go through a lot of meditation, so it was very easy. These are the regular things that we all do. Make eye contact with as many listeners as possible, so that there's attention. Increase the curiosity by drama. This one is in some of the classes we've been doing what just like the plastic cow story. We've been trying to tell them that there is so much of plastic the cows are eating, and how do we bring about drama in this? Like I carry a bag of a lot of things. It includes a lot of plastic. I just take it and just drop it on the table. And then the children are wondering, like, why am I dropping all this thing on the table? So their curiosity is aroused. And then I tell them, can you guess where does this thing come from? They are not able to guess. Then I tell them that all this has come from the stomach of a cow. So which is, they are wondering how. Then my story begins of how the cows eat plastic and how they eat all the garbage, etc. Therefore, the curiosity is waiting for a long enough time, and they come up with questions. So it's a good interaction. And then we also promise to give them a reward at the end. What we do is we give them a reward of, this is our reward, these are bookmarks we have got. So we give each of them the bookmark, which they are quite happy to carry. And this one has got, the bottom of it has got our helpline number. So this helpline number goes to all of them. And I tell them that whenever you see an injured animal, suffering, anything, any kind of problem with an animal, please call me. And believe me, I do get calls on this number quite often, and from children, and which is like, it makes me very, very happy because I feel like you have been able to reach out. Yeah, flip chart, somebody already talked about flip charts. Keep it so that it's available in case of power failures and things. Though in Delhi, of course, we have much lesser of these problems. We also do another program. The children are very, very scared of dogs. This is a phobia that children have. So we do how to avoid dog bites. So we have a PowerPoint presentation, and we make them do role plays. So this is a picture of a role play where a child is, one child behaves as a dog and the other child is, like for example, become a tree. So, the whole thing is role play, and again, we are able to capture their attention. And the message also goes out. Now, in the case of older students, we've done a few programs for older students for colleges, and I believe that they come with, it's their choice. Because of their colleges, they decide to come, and I feel that their attention is there. But Amala has indicated it's not the case, that they lose their interest in a few minutes. Therefore, we have to give their presentation. It's important to give our presentation very crisp, and we should involve them in it so that they are able to teach the exam. We will do fully on this, that they definitely can lose their attention. And in fact, they will walk out. This is nothing to stick on to them. I think we must encourage their participation to the fullest. And this is another thing I found, that you move around on the stage, people are, their eye movement is there, and they keep watching you moving from one end to the other end, so their attention span is very much there. Another thing is that you show them pictures, shocking visuals, something like these visuals, which we showed them. People are really shocked by these visuals because they never expected things of this kind to be happening to animals. So these kind of visuals that we are able to, with this visuals we are able to actually gain their attention span, and they ask a lot of questions. This is the one I got. Many of you might have seen this thing. These are some smart ones. They love smart ones like this. Like, tell me again why they call you mankind. So these smart ones are like the older children. They care. And yeah, I already told you about these things that we give away. These bookmarks and yeah, and Koala neckline. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. Anything?
Currently targeting school students only?
Pardon me?
Are you currently targeting school students only?
Mostly school students, but then yes, sometimes college students also, they call us up. If somewhere the message was on and they give programs, they call us up saying that they want us to come and do the program.
But with that your reach and your organization's name has to be really big for people to calling you up and offering you to come to the school.
I've got a call from the father. Yes, some chapters have already come in class 9 and 10, and we have submitted some lesson plans. We have submitted 18 lesson plans for classes 6, 7 and 8. So that is under print. And in fact, the last time program, the last time 2 chapters come out is actually for the teachers training manual. So the teachers learn it and they are actually very important. Yes.
I have a question basically for all presenters, but before that, I think it's great that Vasanthi has been able to get through the formal institutions and institutionalize this. Yeah, I think that's incredible. But for all the presenters, I think it's incredible work that you are doing, but I really wonder, how do you, with any degree of confidence and certainty, say you have made a lasting change? Do you, at some point, I mean, for example, your sort of, your program, how do you know, I mean, the students are being exposed to your presentations and all of that, how many of them think about becoming vegetarian or vegan? How many of them decide to volunteer with a local animal welfare organization? And similarly for you, what are the basic, over a 2-3 year period, I think, I mean, you probably have some systems, but it's probably good to also scientifically measure what difference you have made, either in terms of just awareness levels or in actual changes of attitude, and finally in terms of behaviors. You know, people who have turned vegetarian, children who have turned vegetarian, children who have talked to other children about the issue, who volunteered at some animals. Those are your concrete indicators, and I think that's really important.
One thing that I use is my helpline. The number of people who call me back, and if you happen to be a student who's listened to our presentation or our workshop, that means our workshop works. But yes, scientifically, to be numbered and do that, I think we are able to do that.
I think also you should stop with just the calls that you receive. You know, when you attend to them, how effectively have they been responded to? Have you built up your credibility with the people who called in? Are they satisfied with the response that they have got? Not from you, but from your referral to another animal welfare organization. Just some thoughts.
In just time, if we get to this, we will lose this.
Yeah.
So your point has been noted,
That's
and
it.
everybody has their own way of measuring. So I'm sure we can exchange these notes with you later.
Yeah, we can do it
For
all.
now, let's just break up into one line each. Yeah. So you can just move your chair this side, that side, and we break up into 5 groups. 5 groups.
How many?
Could I ask you to move there? Yeah. So there'll be 5 groups of 1 line each, and there'll be 1 mentor for each. Your first assignment, you know, when you walk into a room of people who don't know you, the most important, doesn't matter if it's a little child or the chief minister, the most important is to be able to introduce yourself and the work you do. And it doesn't come like that. So take out your notebooks or your notepads and write down a 1-minute introduction. It shouldn't take more than a minute because you need it to your humane education presentation. Within 1 minute, you need to introduce yourself, who you are, who is speaking, why you're speaking, which is the organization you represent, what does it do. In an inspiring way that suddenly this group of strangers would stop their mental activity, physical activity and actually listen to you. So that's your assignment number 1. You've got 10 minutes to finish it in your groups and then your mentors are going to help you develop one skill where perhaps you can present just that introduction using that skill. Yeah? So they will discuss more with the skill. Yeah? So it could be and then we can present there'll be more people coming. See, each one is 30 minutes and each one can actually introduce the topic. Yeah? I mean, you cannot imagine how important it is to be able to walk into a group of strangers and say, I am just so happy to be here today. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is so-and-so and I represent this organization. This is what we're here to do and blah, blah, blah. Okay? Just write it because it really needs to be a story and needs to be crisp and you can add a touch of humor. We're not all too serious and you